Hey everybody, it's Elliott Connie here again, and I want to talk about something that right now is really near and dear to my heart and a little bit different than the stuff I normally talk about in relationship to solution-focused brief therapy. Like I often talk about how to do solution-focused brief therapy and the kind of inspirational and passionate ideas I have within the idea of solution-focused brief therapy. But today I want to talk about something that really is worrying me in the field of solution-focused brief therapy, like a trend that I notice in this approach. And I've been noticing it over the course of time, but I guess now it's just to the point where I wanted to say something about it. I wanted to hear your thoughts about it. I wanted to see, exactly interact with some people about this idea or this trend that I noticed that I really genuinely find kind of concerning. And what I notice is, a lot of people in our field confuse knowing what something is and knowing how to do it. So, for example, if you go to a solution-focused workshop at a conference and you sit through a 3-hour explanation of solution-focused brief therapy, that's probably enough content for you to know what it is and what the basis of the approach is and all the history of the approach and the key pioneers of the approach and that sort of thing. But that doesn't mean you know how to do it. It doesn't mean that you know how to actively use this approach with your clients. And I want people to really understand that in order to know how to use this approach with your clients, you have to practice it. You have to really hone your ability to ask questions in session to clients who, at least at times, are struggling with really significant things. Now, one of the things I hear very often when I travel and lecture, when I give a lecture, you are almost guaranteed to experience two things. Number one is you're going to see real video content from real sessions. And if possible, I'm going to do live demonstrations in front of the audience so you can see what this approach actually looks like in conversation, question, client response, utterance by utterance. The second thing you're going to see is practice exercises so you can really master this approach. And in doing so, I often have people approach me and say things like, I thought I was doing solution-focused brief therapy until I saw that, and now I realize I need to really work at it to stay even more in the world of solution-focused brief therapy. That's such a common trend, and I think one of the reasons is because people get so focused on knowing what something is that they're not really focused on how to learn or learning how to do it or mastering the approach so you can use it with your clients who are struggling with significant things. And that's really what learning in our field is all about. And I think the number one thing that gets in the way of our learning to do solution-focused brief therapy, and I mean other approaches as well, but solution-focused because that's the thing that I spend a lot of my time writing about and teaching and that sort of thing. But the number one thing that gets in clinicians' way from mastering this approach, it's not hard clients. It's not that this approach is hard to do. It's the thought in our heads that, oh, I already know that, so I don't have to study it any further. That's simply not true. You don't know how to do it just by knowing it. It takes practice. It takes intentional practice. It takes deliberate discipline in your work with clients to use this approach. And the outcome is profound. Like, I can't say it enough. The most impactful thing that I've ever done in my professional work is learning how to do solution-focused brief therapy. It is amazing what I see happening in clients' lives. It is amazing what I see going on in my client's life. And it's one of the things that drives me so much to share solution-focused training materials and learning opportunities. I mean, it's not just, oh, I want everybody to sign up for my courses. I mean, people can sign up or not. I mean, if you follow me, you know I release more free content than anybody in this field because I really genuinely want to share this because of the amazing impact it has had on my life, the amazing impact it has had on the lives of my clients as I work here in my office and see these profound changes. But I just can't ignore anymore this very dangerous trend I see of people confusing knowing what an approach is and knowing how to pragmatically and effectively implement it in their work. Just knowing what solution-focused brief therapy is doesn't mean you know how to do it and use it effectively in your work. And that's the number one thought that gets in a clinician's way, that gets in a professional's way from really taking their skills within this approach to the next level. So it's also, you know, it's what triggers me to release all the stuff that I do. Like I said, it's what inspires me and motivates me. If you go to mastersolutionfocusedbrieftherapy.com, I'm constantly going to be having free material on that website. Right now, if you click on this video, you'll see that I'm releasing a free therapy session, like an actual video demonstration. These things are hard to come by. If you are looking for a solution-focused training tape, they're not easy to find. And if you do find them, they're actually quite expensive. I'm going to give it to you for free. And it's going to contain not only the first session, but the second session, so you can see what happens after the first session. But you first have to let go of the thought that I already know that, or I already know how to do that, because we have to work at it and practice it to get better. Now, if you happen to click on this video after this free content is gone, don't worry about it, because I'm going to be putting free material on that website constantly, mastersolutionfocusedbrieftherapy.com. So just go there and you'll constantly see free stuff. But I just want people to let go of the idea that because I know what solution-focused brief therapy is, I know how to do it. It's a dangerous thought. It's something that worries me, and it's probably the #1 trend I notice that is getting in the way of clinicians and professionals' ability to really take on this approach and use it with even your most difficult clients. So thank you for listening to my video and listening to my worry, and I hope that we can kind of address this. And, you know, if you do me a favor, help me spread the word, give me a share. Share this on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the places where the share button is lower on the channel here on my blog, or even if you're watching this on my YouTube channel. I really want to get this message out because this is such an important thing to professionals. And I think it's true for all approaches, not just solution-focused brief therapy. If you really want to be a master clinician, you really want to help your clients, there really is a difference between knowing what an approach is, and in my case, solution-focused brief therapy, and knowing how to use it. And if we want to really focus and take our skills and our learning to the next level, we have to build the skill. And I use this example often because it's true. As a young child, as a young adult, I played baseball. I played all the way through college, a little bit beyond college, actually. And if early on in my life, if someone just introduced me to the idea of hitting a baseball, if I had just said, oh, I know how to do that, and I didn't do hours and hours of practice hitting a baseball, I wouldn't have gotten so good at the skill that I would be playing in high school and then in college and then beyond college. And the same thing is true about psychotherapy. And very often I hear professionals say, oh, I already know how to do that, or I don't need to take that course or attend that conference or attend that workshop or come to that intensive training. And that's just not the way to master this approach. So thank you for listening. And once again, go to mastersolutionfocusedbrieftherapy.com and get even more free stuff. Just make sure you let go of that thought, and let's not get in our own way anymore. So thank you, enjoy, and I'll see you later.